A quote-unquote digital Antichrist is the all-seeing eye, a rule by a super intelligence without humanity. Why do globalists have a deep-rooted obsession with artificial intelligence? What's all this fervent pursuit of an autonomous digitized brain? Is it all about what the AI can do for them and their agenda, or is there a darker occult element as well? The World Economic Forum, an organization dedicated to the globalized Great Reset agenda, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and the sharing social economy, devotes a large part of each annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, to discussing artificial intelligence and the extension of its influence in everyday life. The United Nations holds extensive meetings on artificial intelligence and has spent a significant amount of energy establishing rules of ethics, quote-unquote, for its development and use. At the core of the UN's efforts is the claim that only the United Nations is qualified to dictate and control AI technologies for the good of all humanity. Of course, AI governance is scheduled to be in full force by 2030, according to a UN white paper. All globalized institutions have set 2030 as a target date for all their projects, even Russia. Yes, and a few days ago, I did post a video on that. Even Russia is going along with this WEF stuff. And of course, China. WF wants China to be the head of this all. Now, another lesson known about less essential organization is the World Government Summit, WGS, held annually in Dubai. These summits are attended by many national leaders and representatives, as well as corporate CEOs and celebrities. The main topics of focus in WGS are usually propaganda about alleged climate change, the centralization of the global economy, transhumanism, and artificial intelligence. Most of the public debate about artificial intelligence revolves around positive narratives. After all, we need to be convinced of the many great advances that AI technology will offer. Some of the benefits include metahuman health modifications, computer implants in the body or brain, and even nanorobots that may one day be advanced enough to change our very cells. In other words, to benefit from artificial intelligence, we must become less human and more machine. Other purported benefits call for a vast array of new systems, some of which are now being built, that would allow algorithms to monitor every aspect of our lives. Globalists often refer to these systems as the Internet of Things, quote-unquote. Every device you own, the car you drive, every computer, every cell phone, every surveillance camera, every stoplight, everything would be brought together on a single network of artificial intelligence within a city, and each city would be connected in a larger spiderweb to a national AI database. The Internet of Things is regularly mentioned in conjunction with climate change governance and carbon constraints. The purpose is clear. Governments and corporate elites want the ability to track every watt of energy you use every day. This kind of full-spectrum information helps inform our decisions and controls our access to goods and services. They would have total control over anyone living in these quote-unquote smart cities. Your entire life, every second, would be monitored and scrutinized. But how could this be possible? There are millions. There's a lot of data they have to sift through to find someone who does not follow the rules. This is one of the reasons why globalists are promoting AI technologies. It's the only tool available to collect and delineate massive data collection in real time. Already efforts are being made to use artificial intelligence systems to predict crimes before they happen. That's pre-crime, of course. Interestingly, AI algorithms have recently been accused of racial bias, quote-unquote, as they appear to select areas for predictive crime because these areas often tend to be in predominantly black neighborhoods. Imagine a world micromanaged by a cold dead algorithm that only sees you as a source or a resource or a threat. In other words, you're economically useful or you're not. Now, predicting pre-crime is nonsense. Algorithms track habits and patterns. People are affected by different events in different ways that are impossible to predict. There are too many variables, and there will never be a system that can predict the future, but that's not going to stop the globalists from trying to impose AI prediction. Hence, they will see it as a god. Whoever it points to will be captured immediately. AI governance is inevitable under globalist institutions. They claim that one day AI will be used to govern entire societies and punished based on scientifically efficient models. They act as if this is the natural course of humanity and something we cannot avoid. But in reality, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not necessarily meant to happen. It's designed to happen. Proponents of artificial intelligence argue that algorithms cannot act with the same bias that humans do, so they would be the best possible judges of human behavior. Every decision, from production to the distribution of goods and health care to schooling and class enforcement, will be managed by artificial intelligence as a means of achieving ultimate equality. The most logical decision is not always the most ethical decision. Additionally, an AI is programmed by its creator and can be designed to make decisions with the creator's biases in mind, of course. Who can program AI? Who can dictate its codification? Global elites. And this is where we come to the most spiritual element of the issue of artificial intelligence in relation to the globalists. 2 years ago, an article was written titled Luciferianism, a secular look at a destructive globalization belief system. The goal in this piece was to outline the large body of evidence that globalists are in fact some kind of organized cult, people without empathy who delight in destruction for personal gain, and the article concludes that the globalists do have a religion, and their core belief system, according to their evidence, is Luciferianism. There will certainly be naysayers out there who will scoff at this idea, but the facts are indisputable. There is a distinct occult element to globalization, and Luciferianism consistently emerges as the root philosophy. Luciferianism is an inherently destructive ideology, even when viewed outside the lens of Christian faith. Beyond that, there are physiological, psychological elements to the addressed, which Christianity often ignores. Luciferian philosophy is tailored for narcissistic and psychopathic people. The root of worship is about special human beings, quote-unquote, who are not hindered by the boundaries of conscience or morality. Lack of empathy is seen as an advantage to progress, and the ultimate goal of Luciferianism is godhood. A person becomes like a god, either through the worship of others, the power of influence, or technological methods of extending life and abilities. But what does this have to do with artificial intelligence? If we want to look at artificial intelligence in religious terms for a moment, artificial intelligence is a kind of antithesis to the Christ figure. Christ represents an omniscient form of absolute love and ultimate self-sacrifice according to Christian doctrine. I don't think there is a word for what AI ultimately represents. The only term that seems to fit is Antichrist, the all-seeing eye, a rule by a superintelligence without humanity. And they might not cause the end of the world in terms of we commonly understand or in biblical terms, but over time they could take away everything that makes humanity worth the world. And in a way, this would be an apocalypse. It would be a living with psychopathic artificial intelligence, enabling the masses to leave their present bodies to become digital monsters and technological chimeras. If successful, it would truly be the ultimate desecration of humans. And this is on Soul Ask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.